Hello, hello. Welcome to another Tuesday stick class. For those of you watching on YouTube, hello, hello. For those of you watching on Instagram Live, hello, hello. Coming at you from, again, always, well, not sunny today in New Jersey. Today we're going to do a lot of core training in today's class. All right, we're going to get into the quadruped, so the beast position here, knees off the ground 1 inch. We're going to be producing some forces in the frontal plane and the sagittal plane. We're going to get into a little bit of rotational training as well. All right, so in the articulations, we're going to go through how we teach rotation. Okay, let's go a couple more seconds here. Let people filter in for class. Hello. Make sure you comment where you're watching from. Okay, I'm pretty interested as to where you guys are watching me from. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page and also go to the website. And then my page is Jared_DYEM, and also put up a new page, fit.fore.18. It is a golf fitness page, so go over ahead and check that out as well, and then give it a follow if you like the content. All right, so without further ado, let's get into today's session. Let's go feet shoulder width, knees are bent, pelvis is tucked. All right, so flat low back. Now this takes place at 12 o'clock, 1 inch in front of the foot line or toe line. Hands even near sternum, arms straight, drive the shoulders down away from the ears. And now let's lift that right heel up as high as we can. And then drive that heel nice and slow back down to the floor, pushing into the floor like you're squishing the empty soda can. Lift into that big toe. Remember, want that good big toe extension. And then plantar flexion out of that ankle. Down nice and slow. Pushing the heel back down into the floor. And we're pushing the stick into the floor 40% effort. And we should feel some good tension all in that anterior line tissue or that deep front line. All right, so lift into that big toe as high as we can, and then bring it down nice and slow. All right, last one. Let's lift. Let's hold. Bring the hand over to the hip, and now shift the heel over to your right, or over to your pinky toe. Shift the heel over to your left, over to your big toe. And as we shift, I want to try and keep those toes on the ground. So when I shift, I don't want that pinky to come off, pinky toe to come off, and I don't want to internal or externally rotate that hip. So we're shifting the ankle through that frontal plane. Remember, all or most joints should be able to work through all three movement planes. Now let's go to that transverse plane, over to 3 with the heel, down to 6, over to 9, and then back up to 12. All right, 2 more times, 3, 6, 9, 12. This is great for strengthening that ankle tissue as well, to minimize ankle sprains. All right, now let's go 3 reps in the opposite direction, going to 9, 6, 3, over 12. 2 more, 9, 6, 3, over 12. Last one, 9, 6, 3, 12. Bring it down. Opposite hand on top of the stick now. And now knees bent, pelvis tucked, flat back. All right, flex the abs, lift that left heel as high as we can, down slow. Pushing the heel into the floor, lift. Down slow. Lift. Remember, the joint range of motion is the prerequisite of all movement. So we want to make sure that we have good range of motion in the joints before getting into certain positions and building capacity or increasing strength in those positions, okay? So real important, make sure we address each joint independently and then try and move it through its full range of motion to wake up the nervous system and make sure that our body is ready and strong in those positions before we begin to add load. Let's lift and hold, bring left hand to the hip, shift toward that pinky toe, shift toward the big toe, shift toward the pinky toe, As you shift, you're still pushing the forefoot into the ground. That push is going to create tension into that tissue. Remember, force is language of cell, and movement is what we say. So by pushing into the floor with that forefoot, I'm producing force into the ground and moving the ankle through that range of motion to strengthen and build more resilient tissue. Now let's go 3 clockwise circles. 3, 6, 9, 12. It's always so challenging to talk and do these. 6, 9, 12. There's so much thinking that goes that's involved with it. One more time. 3, 6, 9, 12. Now change directions here. Now you're going over to 9, 6, 3, 12. 9, 6, 3, 12. I have to mention I'm looking at 2 digital clocks. There's no more analog clocks anymore. It's just digital. Try to tell the athletes 3, 6, 9, like what? I have no idea what I'm talking about. Good. Now let's go both heels. Bring both sticks or both hands back to the stick here. Remember, without getting taller in that posture, I want to lift onto both big toes. Down slow. Lift. Down slow. One more, we'll hold, lift. Let's shift both heels to your right. Shift both heels to your left. Good. Both heels to your right. And both heels to your left. Let's go 1 rep clockwise. 3, 6, 9, 12. Change hands. Other direction. 9, 6, 3, 12. Bring it down as a slow. Right now, let's go with the pelvic tilts. Stick 12 o'clock. Hands again, even to your sternum. So anterior tilt first. I want you to spread the floor with the feet. Now anterior tilt, arch the back, inhale. Posterior tuck, flatten the back. Exhale. Anterior tilt. Good, now posterior tuck, long exhale. Anterior tilt. Posterior tuck. Anterior tilt. Posterior tuck. Anterior tilt, one more. Posterior tuck, last one. Hip bumps. Bump to the left. Bump to the right. Keep torso nice and tall. We're using that stick as visual feedback. Bump to the left, use the feet. Should feel more in the right groin. Bump to the right, should feel more in the left groin. Bump to the left, squeeze right glute. Bump to the right, squeeze left glute. One more, bump to the left. Last one, bump to the right. Now let's go 1 clockwise circles. Bump 12 o'clock. Bump to 3, 6, 9, and then back to 12. Change hands. Bump over 9. Anterior tilt, 6. Bump to the right for 3. Posterior tuck for 12. Let's go arms fully extended on the stick. Let's go back in the horse stance. Let's go left hip to start with the left hand, and then up to the right shoulder. Push in with the hands, 40%. Bring it down to the left hip, right shoulder, left hip, right shoulder, left hip, right shoulder, bring it down, right hip, up to left shoulder, down, right hip, up, left shoulder, down, right hip, up left shoulder, down right hip, up left shoulder. Now let's bring that figure 8 down to the right hip. Right hand comes up, down to left hip, up to left shoulder, down to right hip, up to right shoulder, down left hip, up left shoulder. Now down left hip, up to right shoulder, down right hip, up to left shoulder, down left hip, up to right shoulder, down right hip, up to left shoulder. And then ease off, go hands a little wider than shoulder width, pull apart, bring it over the head as far as we can. Make sure all 10 fingers maintain connection on the stick, elbows are straight. Keep pulling apart. When you see the stick, push your hands together. Pull apart. Push in. Pull apart. Push in. Now let's go to stick at the crooks of the elbows, right? So now we're going to start to learn that rotational pattern that we like to teach in our certifications. Palms up or hands to the chest, whatever is more comfortable for you. Just start with cervical rotation. Palms up and posterior tuck. Just the head. Turn to the left as far as we can. Turn to the right, far as we can. Bring it back to the 12 o'clock. Now the hips and the head stay still. I want the shoulders to turn. Now I'm only going to turn until I feel some disconnect with the stick and the lat. All right, so knees bent, pelvis tucked. Turn and rotate to your left. Rotate to your right. Turn to your left. Turn to the right. Good, back to 12 o'clock. Now the head and the shoulders are going to rotate together. So posterior tuck, rotate to your right. But keep that left hip back. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in your left groin as you rotate to the right. It's your functional line, your spiral line. And now turn to the left. So again, the shoulders and the head, turn to the left, but the right hip stays back. Should feel that little pull and stretch in that right groin area. And again, that is that functional line, or that anterior oblique sling. Right? Rotate one more time back to the right. Left hip stays back. Turn to the left. Last one. Right hip stays back. Bring it back to 12 o'clock. Now we're going to allow the hip to internally rotate, but it's going to go after. We can't rotate with the torso anymore. So rotate to your right. Hip stays back. As far as you can go. Now, the hip internally rotates, but my heel stays down. All right, now let's go back to our left. Rotate to the left. Right hip stays. I can't go any farther. Now, I internally rotate, but I keep that heel down. Bring it back to 12 o'clock. Now, we're going to allow that back foot to turn, all right? So, that's the last thing to go. Shoulders and the head turn first. Then the pelvis. Now, back foot driving into the floor, squeeze that glute. Now bring it back. Rotate upper half over to the left. Again, the hip stays as far as I can go. Once I can't rotate any further, that right hip continues to rotate as well. And then once I can't rotate anymore, I release that back heel. Drive into that right toe, big toe, Squeeze right glute. Rotate back to your 12 o'clock. All right, beautiful. Now, let's go into our hip series, standing hip series. Going to Captain Morgan's. All right, feet together. Single stick though, can use it as a regression or progression, right? Obviously, you have one less base of support, so in this case, you're using it more as a progression, all right? But if you want to get somebody to really understand how to not turn the pelvis as we abduct or adduct the hip, all right, this is a great feedback exercise for them to do. All right, but again, we're using it today as more of a progression, right? So feet are 1 inch apart. Let's go with the stick at 1 o'clock, so 12 o'clock's in front of us. Let's go 1 o'clock, so 2 o'clock, all right? 2 o'clock, we're all pretty good here. 2 o'clock here, arm is fully extended, even to our shoulder, driving the shoulder down into your lat or back pocket, okay? Hand goes to the hip. I'm gonna go at 90 degrees hip flexion. All right, from here, I'm gonna push out. I want that knee over the ankle. I'm gonna drive that hip back. Hold 60% for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's extend this leg out. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Then back to the front, close that gate, lower that leg. Okay? So we'll push into the stick, build that strength for 10 seconds, extend that leg, hold for 6. Change sides. Now we're at 10 o'clock. Right hand goes to the right hip. And again, that's your feedback for not shifting or rotating your pelvis. Hands in line to 10 o'clock. Should be like 1 to 2 inches away from the feet, okay? So left leg, 90 degrees, hip flexion, so even to your waist, okay? Now, grip push down 60%, bring it back, knee over ankle. I don't care if the lower leg's not touching the stick. I just want that knee over the ankle. I'm gonna use that in the external rotators to push back and now hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, don't shrug, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We extend the leg, hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back in, lower the leg, and then bring it back down. When we extend the leg, I still want you to push back into the stick. Okay? Let's go one more of these on each side. Let's go just above 90 degrees, all right, or as high as you can go. Let's still keep it at the 2 o'clock position now. So 2 o'clock, driving down, let's go 70%, hand to the hip, lift the knee, a little higher, and now open the gate. Knee over ankle, push back, 70%, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the leg. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dude, 10 seconds would have been challenging, all right? I know Dennis might do that. He likes to see people cry, all right? No, all jokes aside, he doesn't want to see people cry. He just likes challenging you guys. All right, 10 second strength build up, 6 second extend, okay? Okay, here we go. Again, a little higher than 90 degrees, and then open that gate, let's push back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend, hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in, close the gate, lower it back down. Perfect. Before we get into the floor core work, right, let's do some standing planks first, just to get a little more activation. And we'll use the wall a little bit to get some of those obliques firing before we get into the ground. So starting off with a standing plank, let's go feet, let's go shoulder width, knees bent, pelvis tucked. Let's go in the horse stance. But I want you to push down and think ribs and hips connecting here, but overemphasize that rib and hip connection. Really focus on that today. All right, and now 60%, let's drive. Ribs and hips, squeeze the butt. And now let's go 70%, a little bit more firm with the effort and the grip. Remember, grip, abs, and glutes. 3 best ways to create tension and strength. Let's go 80%. Now let's go 90%. Whoa, had a little blackout there. It's pouring right now, I hear it. It's pouring. And ease off. Bring it to the wall. Let's go with the arms extended first, okay? Knees bent, pelvis is tucked. Start at 60% push. Again, don't shrug, keep those shoulders down. Now let's go to 70% push. 80% push. 90% push. And ease off. Okay. I'm going to face this way here. I'm going to turn the phone so you can see me a little bit better. All right, now let's go. Same thing, and I'm going to do the opposite side. Arms straight. Feet shoulder width, knees bent, pelvis is tucked. All right, sticks at the sternum height or just below it. And now push. 60%. 60% push. Maintain the posterior tuck. 70% push, no shrugging, shoulders down, push. 80% push. 90% push. And ease off. So there's our standing plank series, and then we had our standing oblique or oblique anti-rotational work. Now we're going to go onto the floor and work from that beast position. So we're going to do the inside hand first. I want to have the other hand in front of the stick, okay? We might do some extending with the hip, okay? I'm not promising it. I'm not warning you. I'm just saying we might do it. If I feel like it's needed. If you feel lucky there. So let's go with the hand right below the shoulder. Other hand's gonna be in front of the stick. All right. Now you're gonna see a wider base is gonna make this a little bit easier with the feet. All right. So wider foot base is gonna make it a little bit easier for you. Okay. Try and maintain the posterior tuck. So what I want you to do right here is I want you guys to find your anterior tilt as much as you can, and then find your posterior tuck as much as you can. So basically doing a few cat-cows. Okay, so arch, round, arch, round, and also find the middle ground. Okay, find that middle ground, and that's what I want you to primarily work from here. Okay, so let's go at 60% first. I want you to push into the wall to start, and now lift the knees 1 inch off the ground. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Next one, let's change hand. The right hand now. Now we're gonna push into the wall. Okay. Now doing these with a partner is a little more beneficial in my opinion because you get the ability to also pull. So we're doing a great job here pushing with each hand, but we also get the resistant force from the partner as you pull. All right, so pulling with a partner is gonna make this exercise way more beneficial, okay? So if you have a partner, definitely do this with them. Hand in front of the stick, pushing in to the wall first, 60%, lift and hold. 6-second hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. So you should see as you do this work, when you lift the hand and push, you're going to feel a little more pressure in one foot than the other one. Okay? So now we're going to add in some of those extensions, right? Then we'll do the other side. So let's go with the inside hand first again. Underneath that shoulder, hand is in front of the stick. Again, try and find your cat and then your cow. And then find the middle. Okay, find that middle. Hand underneath the shoulder. Let's lift, push into the wall first. Go to 60%. Lift. And now extend that opposite leg back. Right leg back and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot back in. Lower the leg back down. So pretty advanced core moves right here. Other hand, holding the stick underneath the shoulder though. Pushing to the wall first, then we'll lift the knees, then we'll extend the left leg. Okay. 60% first, pushing the arm into the wall. Now let's lift the knees, now extend the left leg and hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in and lower the leg. And you're going to see you're going to have one side a little more dominant than the other side. One side is going to be a little bit easier to control that rotation, okay? And that's just because we're always going to have one a little more dominant side, right? But we're going to try, obviously, to make those sides as even as possible. Okay. Same thing here on the other side. Just kettlebells out of the way. Going the inside hand first. Inside hand first. It's right there. Good. I want to have my feet on the turf have sensitive tactile feedback. Inside hand, hands in front of the stick. Remember, wider feet will make it a little bit easier. Wider base. Okay. 60%. Push. And now lift. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Change hands. Outside hand's gonna push in, and then we lift the knees. Push 60% and lift the knees. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. It's also a really good exercise for older demographics to strengthen the wrists. Okay, when you get older, the fear of falling is a huge, huge fear. When, or if you have weak wrists, when you fall, the CNS knows we don't have strong wrists, so we need to fall somewhere else. Normally it's the shoulder. That's why there's a lot of shoulder injuries, hip injuries with the older population when they fall, instead of using the wrist to kind of brace. All right, I've seen it a lot. An aunt of mine a couple years ago fell, turned, saw it happen, turned on the wrist, on her shoulder, didn't even put the wrist down. It's a protective reaction, not strong wrist, to fall somewhere else. So we want to make sure they have strong wrists to make sure that when they fall, there's not a worse injury occurring. All right, now so the bird dog, so extending that opposite leg. Inside hand's gonna hold that stick and push into the wall. Okay, let's lift the knees, 60%, extend that left leg and hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Outside hand, push, lift the knees, extend the right leg and hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it back in. So, bird dogs are done. Let's bring it to the floor. We need a base of a wall. I want you guys to place the stick on your right side in the base of the wall. I want your left hand to be on the floor. I want the right hand to the stick, and now I want you to push the stick into the wall. And I want you to lower this left leg. So left leg should be 90 degrees. And I want you to bring the leg toward the ground here. Make sure your upper back can stay on the floor. And I want you to, with 30% effort, push up onto the stick with your left leg and left glute. Okay, hold that for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off and try and bring that leg down to the ground a little bit more. After this, we're getting into some rotational training. Just trying to open up the shoulders and the hips here, trying to get some more hip-shoulder separation. Okay, let's ease off. Let's change sides. Bring the stick over to your left side. Okay, let's go right hand to the ground. Sticks on left side, right leg is up, and now bring it over. And now the stick goes on top. It should be 90 degrees. And now we're going to bring that leg down toward the floor as far as we can. Remember, upper back is on the ground. Okay, now let's push up with that right glute. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and ease off. And now try and pull the leg down toward the floor a little bit more. Good, ease off. Let's bring it to a half a kneeling stance. We're going to go with that right leg down. I'm going to use a foam block here. I like using foam blocks, so I like the position that it brings me into with that half kneeling stance, all right? This is great to use if you work at a desk a lot, if you have a foam roller, a foam block next to you, and work a lot of times half kneeling. Give those hips some rest from being locked short, okay? So let's go with the stick at the mid back. And again, I want you to think about keeping the lower body completely still. I want you to use the left hand and push the right hand back. Should feel a good stretch through that whole right pec and bicep. Now pull apart with the hands. Push in with the hands. Pull apart with the hands. Now rotate the right hand forward, left hand back. Pull apart with the hands, 60%. Push in with those hands. Pull apart. And then bring it back to 12 o'clock. Change sides. So then adding in that push-pull is going to strengthen that position in that torso rotation. A little itch. All right. So let's go with the pull apart first, and now let's go with left hand forward again. The right hand goes back. Now pull apart. Pelvis stays tucked, ribs, hips connected. Push in. Pull apart, and now switch. Right hand forward, left hand back. Pull apart. Push in. Pull apart. Push in. Ease off and straight to the feet. Now it's going to our slap shot. So let's move That block, nice wide base. Okay, we're gonna do 5 taps first. So I want you to pull apart, keep the hips from rotating, right? No rotation out of those hips. Tap, that's 1. Tap, that's 2, 5 per side. 3, switch. Tap, 4. Tap, 5. Try to stay in the hinge. Tap, that's 6. Pull apart the hands. Tap, that's 7. 8. 9, last one. That's 10. Now let's bring it down with the left hand. Bring it across, now hold. Pull apart your hands, give me 40%. Let's look all the way up to your right. Turn, look all the way to your left. All the way to the right, push in with your hands, all the way to the right. All the way to your left. Bring it back to 12 o'clock so eyes are on the ground. Release the left hand. Bring it up for a second, shake the arms out. Turn the stick. Get back to the hinge, right hand now rotates down. Pull apart the hands. Turn the head all the way to your left. Turn the head all the way to your right. All the way to your left, up. All the way to your right. Now push in with the hands. Now rotate the head all the way to the left, all the way up to the ceiling, all the way to the right behind the right shoulder. All the way to the left, and all the way to the right. Back to 12 o'clock, release that bottom hand, then bring it back up. Stick, 12 o'clock, hands about sternum height, hinge. Tuck the head between those shoulders. And now I want you to move the stick to your right, shift those hips over to your left. Should feel a good stretch through that left QL, intercostal, lat, and then tricep as well. If you're shifting properly with the hips here, should feel a good stretch through the whole right adductor line. Now let's switch, move the hands over to your left, and shift your hips over to your right. Move the stick over to your right, shift the hips over to your left, and I want you to rotate onto your heel on the right side. And push that leg into the floor. Rotate the heel back down, the foot back down to the ground. Let's stand back up, let's change hands as you go on the other side. All right, so let's shift the stick over to your left. Nice, shift the hips over to your right, and then rotate onto that heel. Bring it back, shift over to your left, hands to the right, rotate onto that heel. Bring the foot back, shift over to your left, and then rotate onto that heel. Should get a nice pull and stretch in that right lat tissue. Bring it back down to the floor and ease off. Let's go with some bow and arrows. Feet hip width. Stick 6 inches from the midfoot, hip to the side first. Hold. Try to push the outside hip away from the stick. Both arms are straight. Bring it back up. Turn the stick, and then let's go back into it. Bring it back up, change sides. Bottom arm, thumb up, about 90 degrees or by the sticker. Top arm is thumb down, palm forward, hip away from the side, or hip away from the stick, out to the side as you extend the arms. Come back up. Turn the stick one more time. Good, and then bring it up. Whew. All right, guys, so that's it for today's class. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. I had a great time. I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great weekend. And again, Subscribe to YouTube channel. Check out the website, stickability.com. Go to my Jared_DYEN and the new page for golf fitness, fit.4FORE.18. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you. Peace.